I'm just sampling katydids at the moment. It's around 5:30 in the morning. I've just come across a katydid which is amongst one of the most impressive leaf mimics I've found here. And it's this guy. Hopefully if I put it on my hand it won't fly away because we'll need him. And it is a him, it's a male. And actually occasionally it's been rubbing its wings together to create sound. It's been stridulating. The resemblance to a leaf in this species is incredible. When you think about most camouflaged animals, usually they're trying to avoid being detected by their predator. And that is to some degree still the case here. But if you mimic something specific, like a leaf in this case, or a twig, or some bird excrement, then you're not just avoiding being detected, you're avoiding being recognised. This is a type of camouflage which we call masquerade camouflage, resembling an inanimate or irrelevant object in the environment. What an amazing animal. Now I may very well be biased here, but I think this leaf masquerade has got to be one of the most spectacular adaptations that you will find anywhere in the natural world. In order to look like a leaf, you need to be several things. You need to be the same colour as a leaf. You need to be the same shape as a leaf. You may also need to behave a little bit like a leaf. How did these individual component traits come together during evolution to create something which seems to us so exquisitely well designed? It's a difficult question for sure, but the first thing we wanted to test is how these individual component traits, colour and shape specifically in this case, functionally interact to improve the adaptive benefit of leaf masquerade. And to test that, we did away with real katydids entirely and instead made our own artificial prey using waterproof paper, some glue sticks, a pin and a juicy mealworm. And we pinned thousands of these to tree trunks in local woodland. This is Lade Braes in St Andrews in Scotland. Now, these leafy targets came in different colours and shapes. So is colour more important than shape if you want to look like a leaf? Is shape more important than colour? Or are both equally important? Well, we found the latter was the case. Targets needed to be leafy in shape and leafy in colour to avoid being recognised by the bird predators in this community. So how on earth did leaf masquerade evolve? Well, to answer that question, we needed to study the katydids themselves. I went to Panama and collected hundreds of individual katydids across 58 species that are found on Barrow, Colorado Island, one of the most well-studied tropical rainforests in the world. So what we did is we sampled the wings of these katydids, classified them in terms of coloration, and measured their wing shape. The third thing we did is we took photos of these katydids and compiled them into an online survey where we asked human participants to score these different species on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is not leaf-like at all and 10 is extremely leaf-like. And when you plot that leafiness score on an evolutionary tree of these katydids, we can see that there's a sort of continuous spectrum of leafiness, where some species are not leaf-like at all and some are extremely leaf-like. And these leaf-like traits have arisen multiple times throughout the evolutionary history of these katydids. But what we were really interested in finding out is how these different component traits, coloration and shape, co-evolve with one another. And we found that there is an evolutionary correlation. In other words, species of katydid that are more leaf-like in shape also tend to be more leaf-like in colour. And we did some even further analysis to disentangle the potential order by which these different traits evolved. The best fitting statistical model in these analyses was one where these different traits evolved concurrently, together, at the same time during evolution. Now obviously these results tell us something really interesting about leaf masquerading katydids, but it also reveals an evolutionary mechanism by which complexity can arise throughout the natural world, whether that be leaf mimicry, a bird's wing, or a vertebrate eye. All these traits consist of component traits which on their own don't seem to improve the adaptive value of the trait, but when present together, they acquire an emergent synergistic function. And our results show that that synergistic function can arise through a synergistic evolutionary history, therefore potentially providing a solution for how exquisitely sophisticated design can arise across the natural world.